Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Eala, Coco Gauff aimed to oust defending champions in Italian Open collision. Eala's partnership with Coco Gauff will face its toughest challenge yet as the duo collides with defending champions Jasmine Paolini and Sara Errani for a spot at the 2025 Italian Open semifinal round. The first serve is set for 9:10 p.m. PGH time on Wednesday, March 14. This quarterfinal matchup is expected to take place just moments after Gauff's match against world No. 7 Mira Andreeva in her own singles campaign, scheduled at 7:00 p.m. The Eala Gauff partnership, still in its early stages, impressed in the last outing with a commanding 6-2, 6-3 win over hometown favorites Lisa Pagato and Tyra Caterina Grant. But the duo now stands in the way of the seasoned Italian tandem Paolini and Errani, who are the current world No. 8 in the WTA rankings and the reigning Olympic gold medalists. The Paolini-Errani tandem edged past Yulia Putintseva and Leylah Fernandez in a tight 6-4, 4-6, 10-7 battle to book their spot in the final 8. Errani boasts 5 Grand Slam doubles titles. Paolini, currently ranked No. 5 in women's singles rankings, owned 7 doubles crowns. Their partnership embarked on a couple of deep runs at both the French Open and Wimbledon in 2024. But the Filipino-American duo will look to blend youth, power, and momentum against the tournament's heavy favorites. For Eala and Gauff, the semifinals are just one match away, but it'll take something special to get past the reigning queens of Rome. The sun-drenched courts of the Foro Italico were buzzing. Not just with the rhythmic thump of forehands and backhands echoing off clay, but with something more electric: anticipation. The defending champions of the Italian Open women's doubles, 2 steely veterans known for their synchronized dominance, were cruising through the draw as expected. But storm clouds were forming in the form of 2 rising stars: America's Coco Gauff and the Philippines' Alexandra Eala. At 21 and 19 respectively, they were the youngest pair in the late rounds, and by far the boldest. Let's be honest, Coco had said, mid-practice, sweat glistening and smile disarming, "We didn't come here to admire the architecture." Alex, quiet but razor-sharp, added, "We came to shake up the clay." And shake it they did. A partnership born of fire and finesse. On paper, they're an unlikely match. Gauff, already a Grand Slam singles champion, is explosive. Her footwork is all firecrackers and hustle, her backhand a loaded spring. She plays with urgency, like she's always racing some invisible clock. Eala, meanwhile, is a tactician. Left-handed, her style is more surgical, measured, thoughtful, with a silky forehand that seems to float before biting into corners. She plays chess while others play checkers. But together, magic. Their chemistry was evident from their first match in Rome. Between points, they laughed. During points, they locked in like seasoned soldiers. On one changeover, they were seen choreographing a handshake that involved a racket tap, 2 fist bumps, and an elbow touch that neither got right, but both found hilarious. Communication, Alex later said, is 50% tactics and 50% just vibes. Mostly vibes, Coco added, giggling. The road to the clash, the road to the semifinals was hardly smooth. They faced a veteran Czech duo in the second round known for putting away ambitious upstarts. In the first set, Coco missed 3 volleys in a row. Alex, undeterred, whispered to her at the net, "Just think of the ball as someone saying you can't win this tournament." Gauff grinned. Next point, she blasted a return winner so loud it might have cracked a nearby wine glass. They won that match in 3 sets, the last tiebreak a blur of sliding saves and screen laughs. By the quarterfinals, they were no longer underdogs. They were the story. Commentators began speculating. Fans crowded practice courts. A mural featuring the pair, drawn overnight by an eager local artist, popped up near Campo Central, showing them with wings made of tennis strings. The media dubbed them Rome's rebels. But the real test was coming. The queens await. Standing in their way were the reigning champions, an ice-cold duo with decades of experience between them and a habit of treating pressure like a mild breeze. The No. 1 seeds. These two had dismantled every pair they faced without so much as a drop set. "They don't make mistakes," said one analyst. "You don't beat them with power. You beat them with belief." That's exactly what Gauff and Eala had in surplus. Pre-match theater. The day before the big match, a press conference was called. Reporters circled like hawks, ready to ask the young guns if they were intimidated. Coco, leaning back in her chair, fielded the question with a smirk. Intimidated? Nah, we've played Mario Kart on Rainbow Road. We've seen things. Alex added, respect? Of course. Fear? Never. The crowd erupted. Even the defending champs were asked for a reaction. They're talented. One said, stone-faced. But youth makes you fearless. And sometimes reckless. Gauff's response? A post to Instagram of her and Alex sharing a bowl of gelato with the caption, call us reckless, but at least we're sweet. Match day mayhem. The stands were packed, an unusually boisterous crowd for a doubles match. Banners waved. Someone wore a shirt that said Team Gauffala in handwritten Sharpie. Another had claymates across the back. The atmosphere felt less like Rome, and more like a festival. From the very first point, it was clear the match would be a clash of eras. Gauff opened with a thunderous serve. Eala followed with a delicately spun return, and together they drew early gasps. But the defending champs were stoic. They absorbed pressure. They counterpunched. The first set slipped from Gauff and Eala's hands, 6-4, on a single missed volley. No panic. At the next changeover, Coco and Alex were seen nodding, whispering, plotting. The second set began like a different match. Coco started ghosting to the net. Eala began pulling strings with looping forehands that forced errors. The young duo raced to a 5-1 lead. The veterans dug in, clawing back to 5-4. But Coco, unfazed, served it out with 2 aces and a daring second serve kick that barely clipped the line. 1-1. Game on. The final set. Brilliance and banter. The third set was the kind of tennis that makes legends. It had everything. Diving volleys, moonball rallies, net cords that danced on wires of fate. At one point, after winning a brutal 27-shot rally, Alex turned to Coco and mouthed, I need oxygen. Coco just handed her a banana during the break. Potassium, same thing, she joked. The crowd lived for it. Then, at 6-6, a super tie-break. First to 10, win by 2. Coco missed her first return. 0-1. Alex nailed a backhand down the line. 1-1. They went toe-to-toe, neither team giving an inch. At 9-9, Alex stepped up to serve. Let's finish this our way, she said. She tossed. Swung. Ace. 10-9. Match point. Coco crouched low. The return came floating short. She pounced, a leaping overhead that smacked the clay and kicked up a spray of dust. Game, set, shock delivered. Aftermath. The echo heard round the tour. The champions were dethroned, but graceful. They shook hands, nodded respectfully, and walked off with the poise of queens who knew the future had arrived early. Coco and Alex? They collapsed into a hug that looked less like celebration and more like the end of a high-speed roller coaster. Interviewed immediately after, Coco gasped, that was insane. I think my legs are still somewhere on court 4. Alex added, I blacked out at 6-all. Did we win? This isn't a dream, right? Rome was roaring. A new era rising. It's easy to forget how young they are. But for all the youth, the fun, the memes, and mischief, Gauff and Eala showed something far more dangerous to the rest of the tour. Growth. This isn't just a fun team. One analyst said on air, this can be a dynasty in the making. Whether or not they go on to win the whole tournament, one thing is now clear. The throne is no longer safe.